So my name is Matt. I'm German born. I'm not living nomadic anymore. I'm living right now in Sweden. So I've been traveling around the world several times, teaching consent, touch, body work, tantra, sexual awakening. I'm a body worker, a facilitator, and a facilitator educator. And I have written a book that calls Orgasmic Blueprint. I don't know, is it mirrored or can you see it? So you can't see it. I have to turn it. I can't do it. Give me a second. I can do it here. Um, it's upside down. It's mirrored, right? So I need to mirror my video. Is it working now? Can you see it now? It's it's mirrored. But now it's not mirrored anymore. Can you see it now? It's still mirrored. That's weird. That's interesting. So some things and stuff I still have not worked out on Zoom. There are so many buttons, but I just put it back there. And I just want to show you a little bit more because I love this geekery and technical setup when it comes to webinars and stuff like that. So I have here my camera, and then I have a Zoom camera where I show you later a few tricks what I'm doing with the hands. Everybody can see my hands and still see me talking. I love that little geekery. And then I have another camera where you can see me from the side, my little technical setup, so you just get a little bit of a sneak preview in my little studio room. Sometimes I have one more camera, so it's just fun playing with stuff like that. So, Orgasmic Blueprint. Anything else I want to say about myself? I have some notes over there. So as you have seen, there is a recording going, and the recording is on speaker view and recorded to the cloud. On one point, I will opening up the mic, and if you have some questions that you would like to get answered, then please make sure that you only say and ask that what you're comfortable with. Yeah. So, because I will send the recording link around, so there are some people said they can't make it and they want to have the recording. So I will send that, make sure that you are in alignment with your own words. Okay, so a few words of what is Orgasmic Blueprint. So I've been a tantric practitioner and a body worker for 25 plus years, and I found it by coincidence, and I had an amazing experience in my body on a sexual level, and I could not give names to it. I could not explain and I could not say it, and learned in 2014 the art of somatic experiencing, how to explore on a somatic level a deeper layer of yourself emotionally, sensually, and sexually, and kind of in self-propelled way studied the nervous system, and I tried to find words to it, and learned the art of consent, how consent works in relationship, in any kind of communication. And then I started publishing that book. And so the Orgasmic Blueprint, I was trying to find an analogy to make it transparent, but just imagine dancing or music. So when you dance or to a certain piece of music, or when you're listening to music, or when you play an instrument, you don't play an instrument or you don't dance to music to come to an end. You know, just like when you dance, you dance because you want to enjoy the flow, you want to enjoy what is happening. And when you play an instrument, you just want to become the music that is playing through you, through the instrument. And that's the same thing with the Orgasmic Blueprint, that when you enter an orgasmic state or an ecstatic state, so that you don't fall off that cliff, what I call the cliff of edging. And I'll talk a little bit more about later what that is and how to find that. And this is what this entire book, Orgasmic Blueprint, and what this dynamic is all about, to finding words and explanations. I think it's time to stop the music. And explanations to go there. You know, a blueprint is literally a map that you can get. And we have all an individual map, even though we have all a similar functioning in our nervous system and how to reach different stages in our body, somatically, sensually, and sexually. And the blueprint is that you literally find your individual access into this way and how you can share and exchange that with your partner in a way that feels beneficial for both. Yeah. So that you both have access to this orgasmic blueprint, and that you can stay as long as you choose when you know how to access that. And that is my experience, and that's what I'm sharing with my beautiful partner over there. She might want to share a little bit about that in a few moments. But that's the idea. So I have prepared a few slides that I would like to show you. And then I'm curious about how and where that lands in you. And maybe then you have individual questions in your relationship or your individual life, and how to apply that and how to find that. And then at the end, I give you a few bonuses for being here today, and I share them at the end. Okay, everybody's good to go? Yeah? Wonderful. Then I would like to start with one little piece, what I call the hand meditation. Yeah? The hand meditation is something that is very beneficial for our nervous system to self-regulate, and it doesn't guide anywhere, it doesn't mean anything, it's just an experience of exploration where the entire orgasmic blueprint is built on. And when you have experienced that, it makes it much easier for you to understand it on the other side. So I will change my camera because I have prepared that so geekery. So my invitation to you is lean back. So lean back wherever you sit. Take something in your hand, whatever that is. I have a piece of wood here. Can be another piece of wood or a little battery. So whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Important is that you take something in your hands. You relax your shoulders. Relax your spine. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just you and your hands for just about 5 minutes or so. And feel totally free to keep your eyes open or close your eyes. I will guide you through. And if you feel like you want to switch off your camera and be more private, that's totally fine as well. So while you have that in your hands, you notice that you can collect a lot of tactile information, like the temperature. Is it soft or is it solid? Is it smooth or round? Is it sharp, edgy? Is it the density? Is it heavy? So you get a lot of information. Or what's the purpose of it? How to use it? Or a name? All this kind of different things. And we want to just give the mind just this few moments of being part of this experience. And then we just let the mind pass by. And whenever feelings come up and you have some stories or pictures or memories coming up, just allow them, welcome them. They're part of it. So when you move that with your hands, then I invite you to slow down your movement by half. It doesn't matter how fast you go. Just go very slowly. And then slow it down by half again. You might feel like even stopping. And then when you keep on moving, then I invite you to explore slowly with that object on one hand, with that hand over the object. So whatever feels right for you, there's no wrong here. And then try to find different areas that feels nice. Maybe between your fingers, maybe your fingertips, maybe your palm or the backside of your hand. And when you find a spot somewhere where it feels kind of pleasant, and I'm looking for like a tinglish electromagnetic sensation. And when you start feeling that, then I invite you to just stay there and just let the sensation just be there. So nowhere to go, nothing to get, nothing to give. Just recognizing that you are moving your hands by choice and just feeling. And just allow your breath to flow, and whatever comes up, just welcome it. You might have some memories or some feelings or emotions related to it. They're all fine. If you have some thoughts or your mind is wandering, then just bring your attention straight back to the sensation there in your hands. It's like training that little muscle of attention, of awareness. Because energy goes where attention flows, or the other way around. And just stay with the sensation of that tinglish, pleasant experience there in your hands. Very simple. Nothing special or very special. And then slowly and gentle, slow your movement down till they stop. Just stay there for a moment. And just notice what you notice within yourself. So that all of you is welcome. All right, and then if your eyes are closed, I invite you to opening up your eyes again. Bring your attention slowly back to the screen. And this is a specific dynamic that belongs to all of us, what I call the foundation of the sensory inflow. And the main dynamic I was pointing in this hand meditation is that you are in action by choice towards a felt sense of pleasure in your skin. So you are in action towards something that feels pleasant. And that's already the main foundation, the roots, the core of the Orgasmic Blueprint. Yeah? So everything is woven around this very little exercise. And because we have more nerve ending in our hands than anywhere else on our entire body except our mouth and our genitals. And because we have so many nerve endings in our hands, there's a massive part in our brain dedicated to our hands. So when your hands will get that, the rest of your body will get that. But fact is as well that you have as well more nerve ending in your genitals than in your hands, that it would feel kind of weird if we would have done that experience with our genitals now. So that you have literally a felt sense that you can go in action to feel pleasure on your skin. Yeah? Does it make sense to everyone, what I'm saying? So I try to break it down and make it really simple. Okay, wonderful. Because this is what I want to build on. And I know I see flying thumbs, that's nice. And I would like to go into the next part of what I would like to show. And that is sharing my screen, and would like to show you a specific thing that is related to this very exercise that we just did when it comes to sexuality and the release of a neurotransmitter that calls oxytocin when you feel that. So when you feel that for this few moments, what we just did, your nervous system goes in a relaxed state. Yeah, so it's a self-regulating, soothing mechanism in your nervous system. So now I would like to share my screen. Okay, so this one is the structure of the sexual dynamic of the, let's say, normal way of sexual encounter. Yeah. So you see this graph here about sexual arousal and being horny. And the lower part is about time. So that when I'm in my deepest pleasure, I want to play as long as I possibly can. So you can measure that here in how long can you stay in your sexual pleasure. So most people see sensuality as a part of foreplay, but normally in the foreplay there is a release of oxytocin, what is a neurotransmitter that is responsible for bonding, for connection, and for well-being. Those are the love and cuddle hormone. And then when we start playing with each other on a sexual realm, there is on one point, and everybody knows that, the so-called point of no return. So when you reach that point in your sexual arousal, there is no way back. Yeah? So when you reach that point, you come, you have an orgasm, and that's the end of most sexual encounter. So that what we have done with the hands, with the skin, the sensual experience, this is what is releasing oxytocin in your nervous system. And when you start to get aroused, so start to get turned on and you want more of that, this is when dopamine comes in the game and you just feel sexual pleasure and a turn on. And when it comes to this point of climaxing, or when we just not going for the enjoyment, when we're going for the goal and reaching that point of no return, this is what most people experience as the climax. And above the climax, this is where we literally drop off the edge. Yeah. So as long we just on the climax or before the climax, everything is nice and everything is great. But above the climax, the thing is over. So, and there is a worldwide average on sexual encounter, and I just look sometimes here to the right to see. Now I have you better. So the worldwide sexual encounter is 6.5 or 7.5 minutes. Yeah. So how much depth can we explore with each other when our sexual encounter is just limited to, this porn average of sexual energy starts with an arousal and sexual energy ends with a climax. Not much, I guess. So the idea here is that when we're reaching that point of no return above the climax, we release another neurotransmitter that calls serotonin, and that makes us feel euphoric and extremely nice and good with each other. And when serotonin is dropping, we're releasing something that calls prolactin. And prolactin is a neurotransmitter and a hormone that women releasing when they're breastfed, and we men have that as well. So after a climax, we release prolactin, and prolactin makes our sexual energy, our appetite goes down. So we men losing our erection and our lust and our sexual stimuli is fading. And can you relate to that? Everybody has similar experiences. Climax and show is over. Yeah, this is my experience as well. That's nice literature about that. So what happens is when prolactin is dropping, serotonin is dropping, dopamine is dropping, and oxytocin is dropping. And what that does, it creates a so-called sexual shutdown that can last between 2 hours and 7 days. Yeah, it's a so-called roller coaster of a hangover. So, and I have experienced that, and many people I've been working with have experienced about that, and there's nothing wrong about this. I love to say it that way. It's an important piece in human survive and development. It's reproduction, and we all come from reproduction. Well done. Our parents did a great job. But then the question is, do you want to reproduce every time when you have sex? I don't. So what I want to say here is that sexual energy has different purposes and different intentions behind that. And the first one is reproduction. And reproduction is great when we want to reproduce. It's awesome. Yeah. The second one is recreation. And recreation is based for you play, you have fun, you enjoy what you do, you dance, you just play. It's great. So rejuvenating or recreational sex, rejuvenating comes in the next step. Recreational sex is just fun, it's play. Everybody loves that. It's enjoyable, it's good, it's great. And the next step is rejuvenating sexuality. So keeping our sexual energy on a level where it is helping our body to stay in health. It boosts our immune system. Our cellular structure is vibrating on a higher level. So the rejuvenating factor of sexuality is just massive. So in old traditions of Tantra and yoga, that was well known. And then there comes the fourth place, what is transformation. So when we are longer than 30 minutes in this state of sexual arousal, we start to release DMT in our nervous system. And this is where we have spiritual experiences. Okay, so I want to show you a little bit more. So this is the kind of reproductive part of sexuality. And I want to change that into the different levels of relationship. Yeah. So the first level of relationship that we all know, that we're all from, is our relationship in mom's belly. This is the first important relationship that we all have in our life. When we're in mom's uterus and mom's belly, home. The second one is the family home that we are born in. And this is where we start to relate with everything in our life as we know it. So mom, dad, siblings, the dog, auntie, everything around. So our family home is the second relationship dynamic in our life that we just built on. And then the second one, we're just kind of leaving home and going to school, or we're just becoming teenager, puberty, we just go around. This is a so-called shopping and dating zone. Who is with whom? With whom can I be with? Just like attraction. Oh, this person is great, but not I'm attracted anymore. I just want to have the other person and want to get as much experience as I have. I call it poly everything, or I'm open and I want to experience everything with everybody. I don't want to be committed to anything. I just want to do whatever I want, and relationship is just for joy. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? The shopping zone, the dating zone? Many people getting stuck in there. There's nothing wrong about that, but it's very shallow. And then based on that, some people have their experience in their home environment, how mom and dad have been relating. Yeah? And then we just inherit that, and that's just the way how we do the shopping zone. And then we just want to go deeper with a person, and then we create different attachment styles. So-called the fusion style, or codependency, or any kind of attachment style where just relationship is only what is happening between us. Or here, just only you and I and nobody else in the world. Or just like I'm the center of the relationship and everything has to move around me. So different unfunctional relationship structures. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and this is where the Orgasmic Blueprint starts to become really, really important. So in the Orgasmic Blueprint, there's another step that is related to adulthood, to ownership, to radical self-responsibility, to autonomy, self-agency, being in connection to everything that belongs to us individually, or to you individually. So your feelings, your thoughts, your beliefs, everything that's in your domain and in the domain of your partner. So what belongs to your domain is yours, and what belongs to your partner's domain is your partner's domain. What's going on there is literally none of your business. Yeah? So when you choose from an autonomous place of ownership that you want to relate with somebody on higher principles or higher values, and you have a certain set of relationship values you want to connect with, then it's good to clear that up with your partner in your relationship, that you literally know what's the level of engagement that you want to have with your partner. And if there are different sets of values, it's kind of not really functional. Yeah. So you need to have this set of value in there. And when you find the same values together, then there can come a so-called project through, whatever that project is for you. You want to travel, you want to build a house, you want to have a family, you want to create a business, you want to educate people, you want to share your values with the world. So whatever is important to you. And when you have birthed that project into the world, you will develop out of that connection that you have with your partner. And out of that, there is another level, what is literally a transformation of yourself in relationship. So you evolve in your relationship. You create a different version of yourself that has a deeper impact in life, a deeper meaning for yourself, maybe related to your purpose. And what I call the version of yourself. So this autonomy and this version of yourself where you relate, this is the core of the Orgasmic Blueprint, where each and one of you has this so-called base for autonomy. Yeah, so where you have a right to and where you have a responsibility for. What is literally everything that I said, based on what is related to your capacity to feel, your boundaries, your desires, what you stand for, and how you want to live your relationship. And that guides me to the next part of this part, what is the so-called being on the edge and becoming orgasmic instead of having reproductional sex. So that means you just take the goal out of the equation when it comes to your sexuality and your sensuality. It's just about your sensuality, and your sexuality is based on sensual encounter, on sensual experiences. What is literally what we have done in the very beginning, your autonomy by you being in action towards a felt sense of pleasure in your own skin, what is oxytocin related, and creating that bond between you and your partner. So when you literally in connection with that inflow, so with feeling pleasure on your skin, what I call the direct route of pleasure, you literally are in the present moment awareness by feeling connection to your own skin and being in connection with your partner, related to your own body. And when you start with this sensory inflow, when you start feeling yourself, instead of using that or doing that as a foreplay, you actually have a play in general, like an expansion of play, and your sensuality is the foundation of your relaxed arousal, and you might start feeling dopamine coming into the play. The idea here is that your sexual arousal is always underneath your point of no return. You literally neutralize or create a balance of your arousal through feeling yourself instead of hunting towards the goal or hunting towards the climax. So, and when you do that, you have as well on one point serotonin, like the euphoric feeling coming into your system, where you feel really good with what is happening. You have release of endorphins, and you start breathing deeper and more heavily. You release melatonin, and you just can reach this, specific dynamic independent from what your intention with your partner is to go there. It doesn't really matter. So it doesn't matter if you are in vanilla sex or normal play, if you like playing the 3-minute game, if you, this is another part, if you're in BDSM or any kind of power dynamics, if you are just interested in pleasure in your life, in rejuvenating sex, any kind of kink, just for fun. It doesn't really matter if you're in Tantra or whatever the dynamics are. After 15 to 30 minutes, you start to release DMT in your system naturally. It's just, from the explanation there's in the book, and I will share later a link with you, how this is all related to the brain structure, to the pineal gland, to the pituitary gland, and the cerebrospinal fluid, where all this DMT and is going into the spine and affecting the stem cell production for incredible healthy functions in your nervous system. But the main thing is the spiritual component to that is awakening. And the level of presence and awareness that comes in there, and the level of unity and feeling oneness together in harmony beyond the goal. So when you stay there for half an hour, your sex becomes transformative. Your sex becomes um, a level of connection, a bond, and deep joy and pleasure. And this is literally what I call in the nervous system the bliss state. Yeah. So this is what we all can access to when we know how to neutralize through oxytocin our capability and possibility to feel. All right, that was a little ride. I stopped sharing the screen here. And I hope I have not over bombarded you with these slides and with these informations. I just try to make that as um, uh, educational and fun as I possibly can. And I can share much more about that. So this is just a tiny little bit of that. But at this point, I would like to open up to questions and answers. If you have any comments or any individual situations. Or before I start, I would like to ask you, Jessica, if you're willing to share a little bit about your own experience practicing that. Are you willing to share anything?
Hi. Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to add actually one thing when you said like over time, because it's so easy just to think about time, that like 15 or 30 minutes or whatever. And of course, go back to the touch and the feeling and the awareness and the presence, because you can do in 30 minutes or 1 hour or whatever, and not at all be in that state. And of course, that's what you lean everything on to really be there in whatever is happening, totally aware. So, what would you like me to share? What would I can share whatever, but is it something you think that could be nice to know or to have my input on?
Feel welcome to share anything that you want to share. What's your experience in the Orgasmic Blueprint? What's your experience being on the edge? What's your experience in your body? And is there anything that has been changing for you, or how is it for you? Experience that as a woman, because I can't share that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, what can I say? It's just like um, it is totally something different, and it is something completely like all my sort of old scales need to be replaced, because being there in that slow space where I've been like experiencing now is like I mean, you show all these slides and you show all the dopamine, all the serotonin, all the, I mean, everything DMT that we releases. But to be in that state is just the better experience than anything could ever be. And to just glide on that experience also so natural instead of going there. And every time I get like too much dopamine and you slow me down, and that is like I get so annoyed sometimes. And that's so interesting to see how that works and how that opens new doors. And the most interesting thing for me is when I stopped breathing. I had no idea that that was even possible, and I do that for minutes, like really, really, really long time, where I'm like totally, totally, totally gone. And this is not something, I'm not telling this just because that's something to aim for. I just say that there is something that's very different from everything I have experienced before, and I have experienced a lot when it comes to this. I've always been very sex positive, but it's like, yeah, it's very interesting to see it both in the pictures that you show, and then just to experience that bliss state and whatever that is. And it's so worth it, even though it's pain in the ass. The journey there could be very hard sometimes. So if
Yeah.
someone have a question, I'm here as well, of course, to answer whatever someone would like to be curious about.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just thank you so much, Jessica, for your sharing. Yeah, I just want to say a few words. I've been working over 15 years as a body worker and as a de-armoring practitioner, and I've been doing a lot of cervix activation. So I had, I don't know how many hundreds or even thousands of sessions around the world, and I just gained that nickname on one point, the womb whisperer, and everything that I've done with women over this years. Uh, Kind of gained a lot of experience how the nervous system works and how physical expressions are. And so I just learned so much. And what I have done over the last 5 years is, instead of working with women, I have changed my line of work, that I just share this work now with men, how to literally access that, because this is where it happens most of the time. My biggest teacher were literally women I were relating with and I was lover with, you know. So learning from the biggest teacher, from the best teacher, were the women I was sexually relating with. And so I can share a lot from my experience as a man that I had with women I was working with. But if you have any questions to Jessica as a woman experience that, please feel absolutely free to ask either me or her or any other question in between, any comment, anything that you would like to say. Feel free to either open up your microphone, or you can write it as well in the chat if you don't want to say it, as you like it. No.
Yeah, I have a question.
Please, Monica.
Yeah, I wonder how this transformation went by. Were you doing this handwork and how this transformation to this new thing happen?
Is that a question to me, or would you like to ask Jessica? To Jessica, please.
Oh yeah, that's, for me, it's a very hard like question to answer, because for me as well, it's been through years and years and years. But I think a lot is to like, I mean, Matt is doing this like hand meditation to be so in touch with your nervous system and your touch and your responses and the feeling part, and to be able to really relax into that, because I could not be in the feeling as same as in the relaxation. And for me, that's the key to over the time. And also, of course, take all the goal away, take all the acting away, like that is, I'm supposed to do something. Just, it's more like being, it's a presence. And over time with different partners, that's like how you develop. And then now when I'm with Matt, it's just another dimension that we can access together, because we both worked a lot with these things. So if there's anything in particular you want to know, but I think it's a lot with this just being present, being willing to let go of the acting, the doing, and the goal to achieving something, and relaxation, relaxation, relaxation. It can't be said enough. Yeah, and I can just share that. I mean, I mean, like, I could not understand that level of relaxation before this relationship, because it's like the level of relaxation that's needed to really surrender into that pleasure is a big amount of relaxation. So that's probably one of the biggest keys.
So you mean that the relaxation has to be there before you can get into this state? It doesn't, you don't get there before.
Yeah, exactly. It's no way you can act yourself into that bliss state. It has to be coming from a very natural state of relaxing to what is, whatever is. And then you can enter that. And it's so hard to relax sometimes.
I would like to add on something to that. Are you okay, Monica, with that? Okay. So, you know, as I said that in this picture about the two different parts of in relationship, like when it comes to adolescence and the higher values in between, when it comes to this, let's call it for a moment tantric edging. This is not that anyone can do on their own. So if you're in a relationship with somebody else, you need to pair up. You know, you need to team up. So you need to play on the same team with each other. What I have experienced in my past, the so-called fighting in relationships, or the gender fight, that has to stop. So we have to create an agreement feel that we're playing in the same team when it comes to our sensuality and our sexuality. That means that's like, I'm not here to steal a climax from you, and you're not stealing a climax from me, and I want to trust you, and you can trust me, and we want to hang out in that place of relaxation and expansion, and we're taking both the goal out of the equation. The way how that starts the best is, if you want to play on the same team with somebody else, is you need to explore and discover it for yourself first. And that needs to be true for both. And the better you become in exploring it yourself, the easier it will become to be there with your partner. What I want to say here is, there is a misconception, and I have not really found the right words for that. But the thing is, you know, the climax is something that we all love. Climaxing is great. This is not wrong or bad. It just has the side effect: when we climax, the show is over. The question is, how close can we go to this part of climax, being in connection and trust with each other, and holding each other, not falling over the edge, being there as long as we can and play around. And instead of having a climax, or maybe two, or some people have three, I don't know, having infinite expansion of orgasmic stages. Yeah, this is a different thing. Instead of having a climax, becoming orgasmic and having waves of orgasm coming in and rising together. And that makes such a difference. And the way how I describe that is, the neutralization in the nervous system to calm down and relax is oxytocin. And it's our all capacity to be in action and feel with our hands, with our skin, and come back to that place of relaxation if we're just going too high towards the point of no return. Okay, that's a little bit sidetrack. Anybody else, please? Your questions are yes.
Yeah, so
Hi.
I wanted to have, this is very interesting, and I have a lot of thoughts. I wanted to share a personal experience first about the breathing
Please.
and not breathing. And so I have been trained in Tantra, and during that training, we were exploring the breathing and not breathing. And there was a time when I was the recipient, and I decided that I was going to not breathe. And I didn't breathe for minutes, minutes and minutes and minutes. It was a very long time. And when I did that, I breathed out. Like, I breathed out all of my air, and I just did not breathe back in. And then when I finally decided, okay, I think I'm ready to breathe, I had to breathe out first. It was like my lungs were full. And it's just been such a phenomena. And I did not know where that might have come from. Like, how could my lungs be filled with air when I let all that air out? And when Matt, when you mentioned DMT, I did a quick search to see if that might be something. And I just like to read this because I feel like it's so much a part of this conversation. But at a recent conference called Breaking Convention, they discussed DMT and had a bunch of scientists there, I guess, who had been exploring DMT. And one of them spoke about how DMT has been found to bind to the sigma-1 receptor, which is found throughout the body. This receptor plays a key role in protecting cells from dying when oxygen is low, making room for the argument that DMT may indeed be released in large quantities during death in a last gasp attempt to keep our cells alive. And I'm just wondering if maybe that DMT is giving us more oxygen, and so we don't need to breathe. And so I'll stop talking for a minute and just get other people's thoughts on that.
This is so interesting. Thank you so much for that one. And so my research is from an American neurophysiologist, Frank Sapanato, something like that. So I have on my webpage a blog post where he's talking about that, and he did a deep research on that. And there's so much good stuff to find. When that happened to me the first time that my breath stopped, I was just like in awe, just like, what is that? This is just unbelievable. I could not believe. And just like what was going on, I was absolutely stunned. And then I don't know exactly how long it was when my breath started happening again. I was just absolutely, my God, what was that? So if I would have not had that and I would experience that with my partner and her breath is stopping and I was just thinking, oh my God, what's going on here? I probably would be scared. Yeah. So it's good when you play on the same team and you have somebody on the team who had the similar experience and can say, hey, everything is fine. You know, I'm with you. I hold you. It doesn't matter what is happening. What you just say, the correlation between DMT and oxygen makes absolutely sense to me. I stopped on one point my research, but this is definitely worth to look deeper into that. I rather practice in having a good time making love. But any other thoughts about that? So anybody else, please.
Hi, I have a
Yes, David,
question
please.
because I don't know very well what's happened when a lot of DMT is released. What I understood that it's happened that you stop to breathe when we have a lot of DMT in the body.
Well, this seems to be a correlation. I'm not a neuroscience or a scientist in any form. You know, I was looking really deep, starting in 2016 into the function of the nervous system. So I always was curious about the somatic nervous system, how that functions, how that is related, the different function of the autonomic nervous system. I just needed to know how the vagus nerve complex in the woman is wired, related to the uterus, and as well specifically into the brain, onto the pineal gland. There are connections in there, but specifically the polyvagal theory from Stephen Porges to understand how the so-called state of immobilization in the when you safe in your nervous system and you're getting immobile, that you literally go into the deep state in yoga asana, you know, or shivasana, and you just literally just merge into oneness, but you're 100% aware of what's going on around you. And that's a similar state that I would explain, but I have not heard that before so explicit, but I love this thoughts about that DMT and oxygen, and I would like to stick my nose deeper into that. I'm really happy that I think Tammy is your name has pointed that out. Thank you. Does it answer that, David? And then there is a hand from...
Yeah, but I understood something more, but yes, there is much more to research and practice.
Yes, let's get all curious about that. Adi Anand, when I see that right, please, your hand is up.
Hey, good evening. I would like to ask you if you can summarize a few steps to lead the couple which want to explore this state. I mean, okay, first step, you should, as a couple, as individual, do that. And then when you reach this, you should do that. Just to have a guide through this process.
Yeah. Thank you for that question. You know, the first thing I could say is I have a couple retreat coming up in a few weeks in Sweden where we're just going on a weekend for 3 days with just a small group of people. So we are 7 couples. And then I can guide individually for every couple where they are and break it down and create it exactly where people are. Yeah. The book that I've published, the Orgasmic Blueprint, is you know, a written book is a linear information line, and you have to pick out your information as you need them. You have to read through, and then you have to collect what you need on certain points. Then I have created an online course that calls the 4 pillars of relating, where this entire structure is broken down in 8 modules, but it's the same thing. It's just more like interactive with videos. But you know, the best thing to start without going into deeper theory around that is start playing the 3-minute game with each other, and without doing any deeper studies and understanding anything. When you playing together in the same team, in the team orgasmic experiencing, and you both choose together to take the goal out of your sexual encounter, if your package of procreation is delivered, then the 3-minute game is a fantastic start to learn about yourself and your partner in the different ways of encounter and engaging. And if you're interested in hearing more about the 3-minute game, I can do that. But I want to share in a few minutes as well more about the bonuses. Does it answer that, Ananda? Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
And I can just add, you also
Please.
have lots of videos that where you can go through them and see all that, the 3-minute game or whatever you would like to do. It's like you can probably send a link or whatever.
Yeah. Just to say it that way, you know, the two of you, if you want to play with each other and you want to start tonight, and I don't know who of you is the more dominant person, I can only guess. But just giving you as the asking that question first, maybe the inspiration that you are in charge in just in one dynamic of the 3-minute game, that you ask your partner, hey, do I have 15 minutes or half an hour or a certain amount of time access that I can feel with my skin, with every part of my body, every part of your body, where you're not taking over and where I can do whatever I want to do without going towards a goal. So literally you use your partner to turn yourself on, and he's not taking the lead. Just to try, see where that goes. Hey, anybody else? Last question, and then I want to share some ideas and bonuses and stuff like that. Thinks the bonuses are more exciting. Okay, as I said that before, I will take some links, put them in the chat, and where is my chat? My chat is gone. Okay, my chat is gone. Okay, I don't know where my chat is. I have so many windows open. I don't know where my chat is. 1 second. Chat. Here it is. So I will put them in the chat. Please open the pages, copy paste them, and I will go through them one by one. So the first one is, I said that already, I have this couple retreat coming up. Orgasmic Blueprint is from the 6th to the 8th of September. in a beautiful space in Sweden, in Skara. So Jessica and I will be there. It's limited to 7 couples only. You will find more about the location on that link on there. This link is not really working, so you have to copy and paste it out and put it in yourself. I'm sorry about that. So there is a webinar special. If you are interested in attending, it's 550 euros per person, and you get a 24-hour webinar bonus, what is 10% off, so 60 euros less if you just choose to join. This is about the retreat. There are 3 spots left, so 3 couples can come. 3 more couples can come. Then you can take that link straight under the 60 euros if you want to get this 24-hour 10% bonus. This is the first one. Then everybody who is here today, I will offer you a free Orgasmic Blueprint couple call. So if you want to have a conversation with me about your individual case and see where you are and how you can apply that in your life, if you need some inputs, I'm doing couple counseling or individual coaching with men and women, how to apply that in their life. I was just saying today, somebody was asking me, yeah, you're so good with all this technical stuff. And now I said, I'm a sex teacher. I love teaching sexuality and sensuality to couples to find this orgasmic blueprint. That's my thing. If that's your thing and you would like to know more, just take that link, book a call, half an hour free. When I'm having individual sessions that cost 300 euro per hour, is half an hour for free. Come and join. You don't need to book anything. You don't need to buy anything. Yeah, David just said you can't copy the link. You need to push the buttons and then you need to bookmark that. But I will send the links out to everybody who has been registered here to your emails by tomorrow or so. So if you're interested, book a call, half an hour for free, get your questions answered. How can I support you individually? This is just very general what I'm saying here today. You have your own individual orgasmic blueprint, and how can I help you to find that in the best possible way? This is another piece. Then I have published that book. Of course, you can buy the book on Amazon, Orgasmic Blueprint. You can get it on my webpage as a PDF or as an EPUB, and you can share that with as many people as you like. It's right now on a 50% special. You just go on, I just write that down on Somatic consent.com. And here we go. And you find, look around a little bit. You find the link for the book. There's this on 50% special if you want to have it and download it. And you can share it with as many as you like. However, if you don't want to read it yourself, so there's a lot of maps. And so the maps that I've showed today, they are in the book. If you don't want them and you're not interested in them, I have the book as an audio version for free on Spotify and on YouTube, either or. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Here's a link to the Blueprint Couples Retreat. And Jessica, could you just please drop the link for the book on my webpage on Somatic Consent? Yeah, that would be lovely. So if you rather get it on Spotify or listen to it on YouTube, just get the links and listen to it. There's one chapter in there that's the let me explain it in a different way. There's one live reading. It is #4, so reading 4, chapter 9. This is the chapter about relaxed arousal. And this is followed by the chapter how DMT is released and how the spiritual journey of the release of DMT is working. So if you're interested in that, So this is all for free. You can all go there and get the informations that you need. But if you just want to get them straight from me in person, jump on a call, or if you want to come on a retreat as a couple, just sign up. I would love to welcome you. Deep breath for a moment. I invite you to take this object back in your hands. There was a lot of information and why you're still feeling that object, and keep your eyes and your ears open. My question to you is, what has been resonating? And maybe there was something that has been not resonating. My invitation is to put that on an etheric bookshelf and maybe have a look at this later. And just make that yours, what has been resonating. So that everything that you explore, experience, discover, it's yours. I can just set some impulses and inspire you and maybe give you some ideas. But the reality is happening in you, and you are the core and the roots of that. And the invitation is to play more with your hands, to feel more with your hands. Use your hands, explore with your hands, discover with your hands. It's a gift that is there, always has been, and it belongs to you. Nobody can give that to you, and nobody can take it away from you. It belongs to you. It's yours. Always was and always will be. It doesn't really matter what you think about it. Your hands will show you, and it will make such a difference. All right, and coming to a completion of that little webinar today. Either feel free to write in the chat what has been resonating most with you, or feel free to open up your mic and speak a few words, what has been resonating most, and what was the best inspiration for you. Please feel totally cheeky, unmute yourself and speak.
Okay. In my life, pleasures have really a central point and was all the time the key. And going through this hand meditation, I really find a way to self-regulate myself, to give this pleasure and go deeply without going extreme, trying alcohol, drugs, or many other things. And I understand through my experience how is the key to arrive to a bliss state, also with myself. I can do this with the hand, with the genitals, and in a couple, it became another dimension. But that is really the key and the path to relaxation before, and then unity, bliss state, and so on. And I can have through the dance, to the making love, and to the singing, and many other arts. But the one I'm looking for more and more is through with a partner to reach these states. And is also at the same time helping me to transform my core issue dynamic and so on.
Thank you, Davide. I've seen you, Aaron, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really loved the diagram that you made with all of the neurotransmitters going up. it resonated with me because when Tammy and I did that tantra workshop training that we did, it seemed like every single day, we would practice different elements of massage for hours. And so I kept getting more and more relaxed, and my voice kept getting deeper and deeper. And even though I wasn't sleeping very much, it seemed like something kept increasing. And it was a more spiritual experience. And after, I don't know, 8 or 9 days or something, when we were finally intimate, it was a completely different experience. I didn't have an orgasm like I normally would, but I had all this energy go up into my head, and I was having what seemed to be past life memories just coming up. Whether it was real or not, I don't know. But I kept thinking it was just the energy movement that we did. But seeing that neurotransmitter chart, it made me think that it was just the accumulation of day after day of increasing these neurotransmitter levels. And then after we finished the retreat, it probably lasted for another week where I just kind of like hung out in this very high state relative to where I normally was. Then it slowly faded back as I got re-immersed in my life. But it definitely makes me want to go after that again.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I start in a few days a new Facebook group that calls the 21-day full moon edging challenge. I will send the link in the email, and you are all more than welcome. And it will accumulate in a ritual on the next full moon in September, where we have the 90 minutes of 100% full moon as an ritual window. So 21 days before, lifting up to that. So you're more than welcome to practice on a daily basis with yourself or with your partner. Thank you. All right, 2 more. If you have anything to say, now is the moment.
Yeah, it was a lot of new stuff for me, like with the embodiment. And I have some more questions. So is it okay to book a call even if I'm not in a couple?
You can totally book a call, Monica, and you're more than welcome every Monday again to the Academy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last person. Then, thank you everybody for joining today. Jessica, do you want to say a few last words before we close?
No, I just want to say thank you. That was amazing to be a part of this and to share that with you, and for the openness of all. And also you have some comment in the chat, so thank you for that. So yeah, and of course, if somebody wants to reach out to me, that's totally possible as well, of course.
So enjoy your day. Rule number 1, love yourself. Thanks for joining, and I would
Thank
love
you
to
so
see you
much.
in one way or the other on a call or at the retreat or whatever you resonate with. Please reach out if you resonate. Take care, much love.
Take
Enjoy your
care.
day. Take care. Bye.